live. Sorry. Yes, we are live. Sorry. Welcome back to please don't make a live stream. Or as it will from now on be known. Excuse me. I'm a little off. We'll get to that in a little while. What I was going to say is, welcome back to Please Don't Make a Podcast, which from now on is going to be known as Please Don't Make. Sorry, it's going to be known as Please Don't Live Stream. I'm sorry. I'm a little. My feathers are a little ruffled right now. Yes. This is still the Please Don't Make a Podcast. For you few listeners who have been here since the beginning, it is still a podcast where we talk about whatever, usually movies or YouTube. But as you all know, for the last couple of weeks, we've been doing it live. Because, well, I have more fun actually talking to someone. And I'm pretty sure that the people listening have more fun listening to someone else than just me talk, a little more back and forth. So that is going to be the format, more or less, for the foreseeable future. And as we have done now recently, we have done one stream on Monday and one stream on Friday. The Monday show is just, whatever we want it to be. Talk about, movies in general, or make a list like we did last week, or talk about a specific movie. It could be whatever we feel like. And then the Friday stream is going to be a news show where we talk about movie-related news. Trailers, politics, economic stuff even. Stuff that, pertains to the cinema, to movies. And this is the Friday show, even though it's Sunday. We are a little late. Yeah, about 2 days late. But there is actually a movie-related excuse for this, which we're going to get into a little later. And more so, why I'm a little, like I said, my ruffles are a little, you see, I can't speak. Why my feathers are a little ruffled, why I seem a little rattled here, is that my co-host, Danny, or Danielle Del Gaiso, he's running late, but I felt instead of waiting for him to turn up, I could start the show, do this intro, where when I present the new format for the podcast or the live stream. But he's on his way. I'm talking to him here on the phone here, and hopefully we'll be able to have him join us in a little while. But until then, I will be, manning the show by myself. So, first of all, let me just put this down. Why we were late was actually because me and Danny actually went to the movies this Friday. Instead of doing our job, well, it's not really our job, but you know what I mean, doing the podcast. We actually went and saw Baby Driver. And if you live in Sweden, sorry, I'm gonna stop looking at the phone in a second. Damn it. Excuse me. I'm sorry for this. This is very unprofessional. I just have to fix this. Here we go. Right? Yes. There. Putting that away. Closing it. Yes, we actually went to the movies and saw Baby Driver. And if you live in Sweden, or if you've been listening to last week's news show, you will know that Baby Driver was not supposed to have its Swedish premiere until the 26th. That's on Wednesday. And we talked a lot about the fact that it's only going to be showing, only going to have 10 screenings on its premiere day here in Sweden. 10 screenings across 3 cities in Sweden. I mean, I know we're a small country. When it comes to population, we're only 9 million people, and most of those people live in these 3 cities. It's Stockholm, where I live in a suburb of Stockholm, and then we have Malmö and Gothenburg, or Göteborg, in Swedish. And through between these 3 cities, there were going to be 10 screenings of Baby Driver, the grand return to cinema for Mr. Edgar Wright. And we discussed why Swedish cinema don't really want to bet their money on these unsafe bets. Because I understand why an Edgar Wright movie is still a bit of an unsafe bet, because it's not sure that people are going to recognize. There are no superheroes involved. It's called Baby Driver. There are quite a few stars involved: Kevin Spacey, Jamie Foxx, John Hamm, Ansel Elgort, for all you Fault in Our Stars fans out there. But that's, there's not a big draw with these actors, so it's a bit of a gamble, perhaps. But we discussed last week, if you remember, that is what Swedish cinema needs to do. They need to show some of the weirder movies. Don't just show the Marvel movies or the big summer blockbusters. Take a chance and show Baby Driver on more than just 10 screenings on one day. It turned out that they actually added a lot of more screenings, only in Stockholm and Malmö and Gothenburg, though. But still, because those are like I said, the 3 major cities where people actually live. But still, they added a lot of screenings. Plus, they added 2 more days of screenings, like a sort of sneak preview. So they had a few screenings the 21st, this Friday, and then they had some yesterday. And then they won't show it again until the 26th. So me and Danny, we took this opportunity, and we went and saw the movie. And I don't want to talk too much about Baby Driver right now. Actually, I want to do that when he comes here, because we have a little theory about why they all of a sudden just upped the screening ratio. So instead of talking about that, let's go on to the should I say actual news? I should also say we are going to acknowledge some people that passed away over the week or have passed away recently, but I think we're going to save that for the end of the show. You might argue that we're going out on a downer note, but it feels I don't know, it feels better to give these people the proper time, so not having to like rush through their in memoriam just to do the other news. So I'm going to continue with the news, and hopefully Danny will join me in a few minutes. So first bit of news we're going to talk. God damn it! First bit of news we're going to talk about is here. Let's see. Yes, this is I've come to rely on my co-host quite a lot this quickly. I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah. So we recently had the premiere for Dunkirk all over the world. I think on the same day almost. Here in Sweden, we saw it on the 19th, this Wednesday. And they were actually showing it. I think they only showed it once or twice, but they were actually showing it on, the 70mm actual film print. And me and Danielle, once again, and my sister actually went and saw it, and it was pretty spectacular. Oh, and we have our first viewer. It's Martin. Long-time listener Martin is back in the chat. But yeah, it's nice to have you here, Martin. Let's continue. So we went and saw Dunkirk, and it's nice because you all remember that I Hateful Eight was being shown on an actual film print back when it came out in like late 2015. I think we got it in early 2016 here in Sweden. I'm pretty sure I went and saw it like early January, like the 1st or 2nd of January, and they were actually showing it on an actual film print, a 70mm film print. Absolutely beautiful. Yes, call me pretentious, but watching a movie on actual film, it beats digital cinema every day. No offense to digital cinema, it has its perks, but actual film is it's just amazing to watch. So when I heard they were going to do this for Dunkirk, I was very excited because it shows that traditional cinema and what should I say, a sense of respect for traditional cinema still exists today in this digital world. And I like that. I'm a bit of a traditionalist when it comes to movies, on some aspects. So, but it's still only like 2 movies in 2 years, and they're still going to more or less replace all film projectors with digital projectors. That's what I hear, at least. I don't remember if it was Paramount or Warner Brothers that said that all their movies in the future are going to be digitally shot and released. And I know though that they gave actually I don't have that movie here. I remember when Anchorman 2 came out, they said that was the last movie that is that Paramount? That's Paramount, right? Paramount said that was going to be the last movie they release on film, or that will be shot on film. And the only film directors still shooting on film will be people like Tarantino and Nolan. So anyway, I'm happy that it still exists, but it is a sign of the times that digital cinema is like everywhere now, and it is a good thing. It's much more easier to distribute, and damn it. This is a problem with live streaming. Sometimes I just forget my words. I'm trying to say is that even though it is a much more approachable format to do it digital, it is still it would be nice to still have some film projectors around so we can watch old movies. We have a few in Sweden, but I think there's only one that can project this large format film, the 70mm stuff. However, I read this just like the day after, or maybe it was even like the day of me and Danny and my sister going to watch Dunkirk, that they were actually restoring old film projectors in Australia to be able to show the 70mm print of Dunkirk in that country, so they could do it in more than just like a couple of cities. I don't have the article in front of me. I don't remember the exact number of projectors, but I read this on Twitter from a person that I follow there. He is actually the co-host of a very good movie podcast. It's called the Silver Screen Snobs. Just throwing that out there. You should look that up if you like movie podcasts. It's even better than this one. But anyway, so he had linked to an article where they were talking about they were restoring film projectors across Australia to be able to show the 70mm print, and that they were going to keep those around to be able to show more movies in the future on film and on this large format 70mm kind of film. And not only that, before they showed Dunkirk, they actually showed one trailer in 70mm film. They actually had a trailer on that print, and it was the trailer for the new what's it called? That Poirot story, Murder on the Orient Express, the new ensemble movie. I think Kenneth Branagh is directing it. I might be wrong actually. I'll have to fact check later. But But that's actually being shot on film, which is great, but it's also going to be shown in 70mm prints. So we're actually getting another 70mm film. I think if it was late this year or early next year. And this might be premature, but I feel that this, I get the feeling that this is some kind of, old school cinema renaissance almost, or revival, where we bring back these old ways of making film, and not only on how we shoot film, how they make film. Take Dunkirk, for instance. They used very little digital effects in that movie. I mean, all the ships, all the planes used were actual ships and planes. I mean, in some scenes they used so much as 62 boats and ships just to make it seem, more realistic. They actually mounted these big 35mm and 70mm cameras outside of actual planes. These little Spitfire planes flew around and filmed actual dogfights. It's this raw, visceral kind of filmmaking that really puts you into the stories. Now, do we need to do this for like slice of life dramas? No, we don't, because that's just going to be mid shots of people talking. We don't have to do that in film and do it with 70mm. Of course not. That's the kind of cinema where digital works, of course. But in a movie like Dunkirk, where the filmmaker wants to put the audience right into the thick of it, this kind of filmmaking really, really works, because that movie was a harrowing experience. I mean, it was a great movie, but you were a bit exhausted by the end of it. You wanted to see more, almost, but at the same time, you're like, oh, it's over, dude. My sister was actually talking about the music afterward, and how the music almost made her want to leave, because it ramped up her heart rate so much. The tension was so palpable. You could almost touch the tension. You could feel it in the air, and it was at sometimes a very, very claustrophobic movie, and it really worked in this kind of way, because this might sound super pretentious, but when you know that actual physical film reels have been used to shoot a scene, you get this feeling that, and that this actually happened when I managed to watch The Thing on an original 1982 print. They were showing it at a film institute that we have here in Stockholm. You could almost feel like just behind the screen. I mean, I know it's a rear projection, a front projection, but just behind the screen, they actually captured the actors and effects, especially then physical effects. They captured the weather. They captured the mood on a physical piece of film, and you can almost reach out and touch that when you're watching it back, being projected on film. I don't know. It's hard to explain, and there might be a very small crowd for it, but I'm happy that they're sort of bringing it back, hopefully. And here in the chat, actually, Martin's saying that The Hateful Eight is more of a mid-shot drama. Yeah, that makes sense. And it looks great because it's shot on film. Exactly. Lighting, color, texture almost is captured better on film. But it is a very expensive way of shooting movies. So I mean, if you're making like a small indie drama, shoot it digital. You don't have to do it on film. But yeah, definitely. If you can film it with actual film, and you can afford to film it with actual film, do that. I mean, the future is great and all, but there's no reason to give up on actual film yet. It is still a very a very interesting way to make movies, And Dunkirk is a great example of that. So yeah, I'm hoping that more movies in the future will actually be not only shot on film, because there are still a few filmmakers that shoot not digitally but on film, but that we get more movies projected with actual film reels. It's one of those things, you know. I love going to the cinema, and this would only add more excitement and more passion in my cinema going experience. So I am actually now looking forward to that Murder on the Orient Express movie. I wasn't really into it before. You know, there were some nice actors and actresses, but I was like, I'll catch it later. But now I'll probably go see it because I love the experience of watching film on film. So yeah, hopefully we'll get more of that in the future. But after that, I want to talk more, should we say, more current film news. And we're going to talk a little bit about superhero movies now, or comic book movies, because, you know, people love comic book movies. And there has been a bit of behind the scenes drama regarding the standalone Batman film that they're going to film. You know, with the Batfleck, with Ben Affleck as Batman. You know, first of all, I don't understand why they didn't introduce give Ben Affleck his own Batman film before Batman vs Superman. I guess they were in a hurry. But anyway, they're going to make one now, and at first it was going to be Ben Affleck directing and starring. Then I heard that he was writing the movie as well with the producers, I think, or another screenwriter. But then he was stepping back, and he was letting go of the director's chair, if you will. So he was only going to star and have a writing credit. He probably has a producer credit as well. I'm not sure. And people weren't really sure who was going to direct the film. But they recently revealed that Matt Reeves, the director of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and Cabin in the Woods, and now recently War for the Planet of the Apes, was actually going to take over the directing duties. However, it was an interesting tidbit that I managed to catch earlier this week, or actually late last week, I think, where Matt Reeves had read Ben Affleck's Batman script and was basically just saying that this isn't good enough, and he just threw the entire script out and started writing his own. And from a let's say from a quality standpoint, I really like that a director can. It is a bit douchey, probably, that he just like, oh, your script is trash, let me write my own thing and just throw it away. Yeah, that's kind of a douchebag thing to do. But at the same time, it's good that the a kind of director for hire. I mean, I would go as far to still call Matt Reeves a director for hire. He's a good director. He's a great director even at times, but he's still a director for hire. Especially here, where they just said, "Could you help us do the movie?" And he was like, "Oh, of course." I do love that he has enough integrity to just look at this script and say, "No, this is not up to my standards. I will make a script that I can approve." You know, it may be douchey, like I said, but I still feel that it shows that he cares about the movie more than just saying, "Fine, give me the script, but we're going to shoot it. Oh, God damn it. Okay, let's just film it." He actually cares about the film, and he wants the end product to be something he can be proud of. So I respect that. However, on a I guess production level, this probably means that the movie will be even more delayed, because from what I understand, they weren't really, you know, getting a script together in the first place, and the movie was being pushed back a lot. So now that Matt Reeves had decided that their like hodgepodge of a script isn't good enough, and he's sitting down to write his own, it's probably going to be even more delayed. So it might be a while before we get our own standalone Batman movie again, which is good because honestly, The Dark Knight Rises came out almost exactly 5 years ago. It feels like we might need a little more time to be able to let go of the Dark Knight trilogy before we start focusing on this new Batman. I don't know. From a money standpoint, from a money viewpoint, I can see how people are a little worried about this. But me, as a spectator, as an admirer of Batman and Batman movies, I'm happy to take more time to it, and actually try to make a better movie than they were initially going to do. So yeah, I am mostly excited about this. And then there are a few things I was gonna say for when Danny shows up. Yeah, we could talk about this because this is actually related to Swedish cinema. There was this movie made in 2000 or 2001, I think, here in Sweden, that was called Naken, or Naked in English. No, it's not the Mike Leigh film. This was a sort of a Groundhog Day-ish movie where a guy wakes up the day after his wedding or bachelor party. He wakes up naked in an elevator. He doesn't know how he got there, and he's not really sure even where he is. And he has to make it to his wedding. The problem is, he doesn't make it, but everything just goes awry, if you will, with his relationship. However, the day after, he wakes up once again in the elevator, and now he gets a second chance. It's like Run Lola Run. It's like the Groundhog Day. It's like Edge of Tomorrow, or what was it? Live, Die, Repeat. They renamed it on home media, or All You Need Is Kill, which was the original title. And that movie is 17 years old. It was a minor success here in Sweden. In Sweden, it was a minor success. And for some reason, they're going to remake it now in America. Netflix has bought the rights, and they are remaking it with Marlon Wayans in the lead role. And he did it. Oh, and by the way, yeah, quick pause there, because this is just ridiculous. But anyway, yeah. Martin is wondering here in the chat. You can probably read it. When is he showing up? When is Daniel showing up? Well, he said he was going to be home about 10 minutes past 6. I'm not really sure where he is. So yeah, but I'll keep going by my own, because we have a few things that we need to discuss together. These are just the regular news stuff. But yeah, so yeah, this is like one of those things with remakes. Why make them? And if you're gonna make a remake, why remake a movie that no one's heard of? Well, that actually makes sense then, because yeah, they could just say that it's we want to highlight this forgotten movie. But this is a mediocre Swedish movie that no one really remembers, and it's 17 years old. It's not like it's a forgotten classic. It's just a slightly older, meh movie. And I maybe they think they can do a better job of it because they have a bigger budget, and they have a star in Marlon Wayans. But it's still so baffling why they would remake a 17-year-old Swedish movie. Well, like I said, remakes overall is just baffling. It feels like a cop out when they let's take this old movie, so we don't have to think think or make our own movie. We just take this one, rewrite a little here and there, make it more up to date, and then we basically have a new movie. And another one that was in the news that I thought was just a rumor, but then I found out that it's actually in post-production already. It's the remake of Suspiria, Dario Argento's horror classic about the dance academy in is it France or Germany? I'm not sure. Where the American student comes to train in dancing, but she starts looking into the dark and sordid past of this school. It's an extremely atmospheric horror movie, kind of in the same style almost, or it has the same vibes almost as The Shining. It's a great little horror movie that I urge you, if you're a film buff or a cinephile, like I like to call myself, it's definitely a movie you owe yourself to see. Martin is writing here in the chat, Germany. Yeah, the casting is kind of dope though. Well, actually, until Danny shows up, do you wanna hop in, Martin, so we can talk a little bit about this, or are you content with staying in the chat for today? Let's see if he answers. Yeah. Okay. Martin is going to jump in. I just got to send him the link then. Let's see here. God, this computer. Well, this stream has been a shit show from start, and probably going to continue to be one. So I'm sorry for all the technical difficulties, but I am getting my temporary co-host in here. Martin is going to join me from the chat. I might lose my only my only viewer, but whatever. People mostly view this in the archive version anyway. So hold on for a second here. I'm gonna invite Martin into the stream. Let's see here. There we go, and the link is sent. There you are, Martin.
Yes.
Daniel.
I'm here, Martin.
Yes.
What the flip, man?
I just invited him. It was kind of hard to do this on my own, so I thought, hey, Martin could do this while you're gone. But
it's good.
Well,
it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Martin still here.
Hey.
Oh, he's here.
This is great.
Well, we're all here.
So sorry.
That's awesome. No, it's okay. That happens.
I just went to buy some Belcorn.
Oh.
Some beer verst.
Do you think Ritter Hives would sponsor us if I show this on the screen?
Well, we could talk about the influence this show might have had in a little bit.
Yeah.
But let's just finish up the talk we had about remakes. I was just talking with Martin actually in the stream about the Suspiria remake, and how I feel that it's like we talked about before Dunkirk. It's or before Baby Driver. That it's an idiotic idea to do a remake of a cult classic like Suspiria. But Martin mentioned that the cast was good. I haven't really looked into the cast. Who's going to be in the movie?
Tilda Swinton.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's a pretty good
someone
choice.
Yeah, and Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah,
that's
right.
So especially Tilda Swinton is. I think it's a brilliant casting choice.
Sure. The casting choices are good.
Mia Goth is in it as well.
Oh, you like her, right?
I've only seen her in like one movie.
Yeah, I know, but you didn't like that movie, did you? She was in.
I hated it.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you see A Cure for Wellness, Danny?
I haven't.
Oh,
Don't.
No, come on, you missed a good movie. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that right now. But yeah, so sure, the cast for this remake is it's exciting, but is that really reason enough to remake a movie? I don't know. I would probably disagree. I prefer it that they like re-release the original instead, like they are doing here in Sweden. They're actually going to show Suspiria later this year, and like an outside cinema, right?
Yeah, they will. I think Martin should come with us.
Yeah, they're going to show it underneath a bridge over in on Söder, you know, in Stockholm. Martin? I think Martin has left the building.
Oh.
Or has frozen. Oh well. Well, you're here now.
Yeah.
If you're having technical difficulties, just jump back in when you can, Martin. Or if you want to go back to the chat, that's okay. But yeah, let's finish up this remake talk then. What do you think? Is it a good idea to do a remake, or should remakes ever be made, or are they ever a good idea? Is what I mean.
Some remakes are good. For example, Infernal Affairs is pretty okay.
Yeah.
Or Departed.
Yeah, The Departed
is a good remake of Infernal Affairs. Right now in my head, I can't think about any really good remakes. But I think it's very weak. It's very lazy by the movie companies to make remakes. They should instead try and re-release the movie or try and gain some interest and buzz.
Hello, is Martin back?
Because remakes are really problematic. I think it can take away the magic from the original movie.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, sorry. I accidentally put my computer in sleep mode.
Oh, okay. Nah, that's okay.
Yeah, the sleep button is... I actually accidentally touched the sleep button with my glass.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
Sorry.
Well, yeah. No, that's okay. I mean, you're not even supposed to be here today, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, what were you saying, Danny? Yeah, that it feels kind of lazy sometimes to remake a movie, and I agree with that. I would much rather that they do a re-release, or at least like if you're gonna remake a movie, just change the name, change the characters, try to change up the story a little bit, and just do a copy rather than just blatantly rip off the original.
Talking about remakes of old Italian movies, I'm checking here and seeing that there's a remake being made out of Nightmare City.
No, really?
Nah.
Yeah.
That's the Umberto Lenzi classic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of Tarantino's like favorite zombie movies or something. I'm pretty sure.
It's funny. I love the ending is amazing.
Yeah, the ending is one of those tropes that they tell you in film school never to use.
But it does it well.
And I honestly haven't seen too many movies actually do that. So I suppose it's okay for that movie to do it. But let's not spoil it. Let's just say I
haven't seen it in ages.
Yeah, but to any zombie fans or horror fans, you should check out Umberto Lenzi's Nightmare City. It's a pretty good movie.
Oh my god, I'm checking the Indiegogo page for the movie.
Oh, okay.
Tom Savini and Umberto Lenzi present Nightmare City.
Okay. Well, now I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite sound sketchy, but it sounds like it's not going to become the movie they want it to be, probably.
If you pay
But who?
$10,000 US, you can be a corporate partner.
Yay! Well, let's pull together, people. Let's pull together.
Your corporate logo or product placement will be inserted into the film, plus
Oh
promotion
my
at the
God.
premiere and company logo.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God! Does anyone have $10,000? Leave a comment.
I would use $10,000 just to put the Cafe Moonlight logo in the movie.
Yeah. If you pay,
Nobody would get that reference ever.
if you pay $700 US, you can get killed by a zombie.
Okay, that I would actually want to be killed by a zombie.
6 out of 10 claimed. And the funny part is I think the like campaign is over, but you can still you can still put the money in.
Did they? So they reached their goal already?
I think they reached they raised 138,319 US.
Okay, well that's kind of low budget, and that's like
I don't know if
their
that's
initial.
Yeah, you can on Indiegogo you can't see what their
Oh
goal
no,
was.
that's not, it's not like it's not like quick Kickstarter.
But I'm just saying, if we had that money to make a film, we would like.
Oh.
We
Well, yeah,
we
the
could
average
do,
we could do a fucking masterpiece.
we
No
could do
offense
The Lord
to
of the
other
Rings.
people, but yeah. Well, the average film budget. God, this episode is a mess. I'm just fixing my camera. The average Swedish film budget is actually just slightly above like $2 million. That's for every movie we make here. Take that into
Yeah, it shows.
Yeah, exactly. And just think about, I don't know if you've seen, I know Danny has seen Hell or High Water from last year, right? The Ben Foster, Chris Pine movie. Yeah, that movie, a little indie movie shot out in the desert that cost $10 million to make. So that shows how much money we are willing to spend here in Sweden. But that's a sidetrack. Remakes, I don't know. I do enjoy some remakes. I can't, deny that. But overall,
some movies, yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, yeah, I'm just gonna say that some remakes are good. Some remakes are, dare I say, better than the original. The Hills of Ice.
And some remakes are justified. Like we saw Witchfinder General a couple of weeks ago, and we both agreed that movie would it would
benefit from
from a remake with the right director and cast and so on.
Yeah, because it felt like it was coming up a bit short. I'm pretty sure that the director, like, he had this vision in his head, but there weren't enough funds to actually make the movie he wanted to make. It's still a pretty good movie, but it shows that it could have been much better.
Yeah, I had I just had such a great idea for a podcast that we should do, like a fantasy football, but fantasy casting.
I like the idea.
Yeah, like dreaming up movies.
Yeah, like we've been joking about if Sweden made a Batman movie, who we would.
We've done it for years.
The cast, but now we gotta think that one over though, because our Alfred died earlier this year.
Oh,
just Ekman as Alfred.
Yeah. But I've actually had I've had ideas about doing a podcast. I don't know if I've told you about this. That I would call I Could Make a Better Movie Than You, where I like rewrite movies I didn't really like. I know the title sounds very standoffish.
Yeah.
That I was going to rewrite movies. No, exactly. But I was going to rewrite movies I didn't like. But that could be a thing, where we just make up movies, or like make up remakes, or remake movies we didn't like in a podcast format, of course.
Yeah.
You don't have $250 million to remake Batman vs Superman. for instance. That movie needs a remake. But getting off the remake subject, I wanted to go back to, because I talked a little bit about why we didn't stream on Friday, Danny, because we were at the cinema watching Baby Driver.
Yeah.
And I wanted to discuss the thing we jokingly said, that our discussion on the last stream about that they should have showed it in more theaters in Sweden actually might have influenced people. Because like 2 or 3 days after we streamed, they actually added like 20 or 25 screenings, and they added 2 sneak preview days. I'm not saying that this podcast has anything to do with it, but in my head, I
don't think it's impossible.
Exactly, I don't think it's impossible. Anyway, I don't know. Something happened, and it was a positive thing, because it did get a lot more screenings, and it deserves more screenings, because I think we both agree it's one of the better movies of this year, right?
Yeah. It was a very good summer blockbuster movie. But as well, it was a very good homage to heist movies and, of course, car chase movies.
Yeah.
I would say that it really does a lot for it's very well directed car chases. Well, the whole movie is well directed.
Oh yeah. Well, it's Edgar Wright, so
he really knows how to combine music and the pictures together, and it just looks beautiful.
I'll jump off the stream in like 2 minutes, because I haven't seen either Dunkirk or Baby Driver, so I can't.
Okay.
But I just wanted to end this Nightmare City thread, because there's a official Twitter for the movie, and the last update was on the 17th of July, and it's about the passing of George A. Romero.
Yeah.
So, and there haven't been any news of the actual movie since like a year or 2. Yeah. So
they might be canceled.
Yeah, I don't think it's being made. Well,
I suppose that's a good thing, maybe.
Yeah, but it would be kind of fun seeing a remake of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're gonna jump off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was nice having you. Maybe we'll see you in the next stream.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.
So, Donnie, we were talking about Baby Driver. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a summer blockbuster kind of movie. It's a bunch of action. It's fun. It's not like overly like intellectually heavy or whatever you would call it. It's a fun movie, but it's not. It kind of breaks up this formula that we've had for a few years with blockbusters, especially like Transformers and some of the Marvel movies, where movies almost assume that the audience are like idiots, just sitting there like shoving popcorn in their face. There's just amounts of explosions and CGI robots and aliens and all that stuff. This is actually
and 10 minutes expositions. Everything has to be explained to the audience.
Exactly.
That has annoyed me, because I believe the audience is not stupid nor incompetent. I believe the audience can follow a movie. And I think this over-exposition in blockbuster movies, it's not doing a favor for the viewers, because one day the viewer will say, I get it. You do not need to explain it to me.
Yeah, and that's why I think we need more movies, and that's why I wanted Baby Driver to be shown more, have more screenings in Sweden. We need I don't know if it's the right word. We need smarter blockbusters. We need smarter movies. We need movies with a little bit more substance in it, like especially like Dunkirk and Baby Driver. And we had I don't know if you were gonna go see later next week you were going to go see War for the Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. That's also, I mean, that is definitely a blockbuster movie. There's a bunch of effects, you have explosions, it's an action movie. But it is a movie where you can't just, just sit idly by and watch the screen and shove your face full of popcorn. It's a movie where you have to follow along. It doesn't look down on the audience and say that they're idiots. And we need more movies like that. We need movies that treat the audience with respect and actually give them quality over quantity. So I'm really hoping for more movies like this in the future.
Yeah.
And that is why we did not stream this Friday and why we streamed on today instead.
Yeah.
So now that you're here, I want to talk about, this is not really movie news, but it is TV news. Because there were some emails that popped up on the internet from about 6 or 7 years ago, from the set of season 1 of The Walking Dead. Frank Darabont, who was fired as showrunner after the first season, or even after the first couple of episodes, I think, some emails that he sent to his production crew surfaced, and yeah, I don't know. Do you have the mails in front of you? The emails?
Give me a second and I get them, because they are they're very angry mails. He has very much to say.
And yeah, and I wanted to discuss that. I just quickly say, for me, The Walking Dead season 1 was the best season. I really haven't even watched it after the first season. I hated the second season. I watched a few episodes of the third season, and I was thinking to myself, why am I watching this? This is even close to as good as the first season. So I feel that there's a correlation between the drop in quality, at least from my viewpoint. The drop in quality and the fact that they fired.
Season was never popular with none of the fans of the show. I haven't heard nobody say, I like season 2 of Walking Dead. It was a very slow season. Nothing happened.
Yeah, but it was and people say, it's not the lack of zombies that I disliked with that episode, with that season. Zombies are never the most important thing in a zombie movie. The most important thing is the human characters. But
it doesn't progress fast enough. It is very slow.
They're so stuck. They're in Arrested Development for the first 3/4 of that show. They're just looking for the little girl. But anyway, the mails. Did you find the emails?
Yeah. Let me read. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So this is a mail that he sends to Galen Hurd,
the producer.
Yeah, and Galen Hurd actually, she produced most of James Cameron's career. Without Galen Hurd, we probably never had Aliens nor Terminator movies.
Yeah.
Terminator. But this is what he writes: guys and gals, I'm in a state of absolutely boiling rage right now. I just kept Denise on the phone for 20 minutes, making her listen to me scream. I hope she conveys to you what the tenor of it, because you need to grasp my fury. I have never been a screamer, but I am now. The work being done on this episode has turned me into one. Congratulations. You all accomplished what I thought was impossible. You turned me into a raging asshole. Thanks a lot, you fuckers. Everybody, especially our directors, better wake the fuck up and pay attention, or I will start killing people and throwing bodies out the door. Fuck you for giving me chest pains because of the staggering fucking incompetence, blindness to the important beats, and a beyond arrogant lack of regard for what is written being exhibited on set every day. I deserve better than a heart attack because people are too stupid to read a script and understand the words. Does anybody disagree with me? Then join the C-cam operator and go find another job that doesn't involve deliberately fucking up my show scene by scene. There's It is very difficult to find the more vulgar parts of the mails. There's so much.
Yeah, yeah. He was sent. I read like 3 or 4 of them, I think, or at least 3. And there's just there's so much profanity. I like swearing, but these are angry curse words. You know, he is furious in these emails. It's insane.
Here's a mail that he sends to the producers, and this is all written in big letters. You need to pay attention to the motherfucking script. I even choose my goddamn commas for a reason. Why am I working so fucking hard if you're shooting everything some other way that doesn't work?
Yeah. We were discussing, because I think we both agree that Frank Darabont is a great filmmaker.
Yeah.
And a great showrunner, I would say. I mean, he worked on, I'm pretty sure he worked on The Shield before we did some.
He did an episode on The Shield, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a great director. He has made one of my favorite movies, The Mist, with Tom Jane, like 10 years ago now. We were talking about this before. Do you think, now that we've had a few days to think about this, do you think he was fired because of these emails, or did he write these emails? No. Oh wait, what was I gonna say? Was he fired before or after the emails? Do you think these emails are a product of him being fired, or is he just an asshole behind the scenes?
I don't want to believe that Frank Darabont is an asshole. He doesn't give me that impression.
Me neither.
He looks like Rob Reiner's twin brother. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, he looks so nice. He looks like a very nice person, and he makes great movies.
Like Rob Reiner.
Yeah, exactly. But then you read these emails, and you're like, oh, maybe he is an asshole. But I'm.
But I believe that Walking Dead, the most major problem with Walking Dead, and it ended with Frank Darabont being fired. I think one of the bigger problems that Walking Dead had was AMC not being able to roll with a show like The Walking Dead. They had Breaking Bad and Mad Men at the same time, and now they were going to bankroll this show.
Yeah, it might have been.
And they were cutting the budget of every time they were recording.
So
that must have annoyed Frank Darabont. It would have annoyed me if I was a director.
Yeah, I just feel like they were definitely focusing on Breaking Bad and Mad Men, and The Walking Dead was like, yeah, we'll deal with that later. So I can see that
became actually their biggest show to date.
Yeah, it's on the 8th season is coming later this year, or is it next year? Yeah.
Probably this year. I don't watch Walking Dead anymore.
Exactly.
I lost interest.
Yeah, I stopped watching after the 3rd season. I was like, why am I even watching this? Because I didn't like it. But people apparently do, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's huge in the world.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it would make sense then that he was like growing more and more frustrated with the production since they were cutting his budget. They weren't really, they weren't really following his ideas and stuff. I know he wanted to. His version of the 2nd season was actually, at least the first half of the 2nd season was actually going to be about a soldier that was not related to. It was going to take place during the actual outbreak of the zombie virus, and we were going to see why the world ended as it did. I think it's the first episode where Rick, he climbs down into a tank and to seek refuge from a bunch of zombies when he comes into the city, Atlanta. And there's a zombie inside that tank, which is it's a soldier, a zombie that was a soldier. That was going to be the star of the 2nd season. That soldier was going to be the star of the 2nd season. So he was definitely building towards something else that never came to fruition then after he was fired. So it feels like they kind of they had their creative differences with him, and they just got rid of him when he became too difficult. And it's sad. And like I said, I hope these emails are a product of them firing him rather than them firing him because he's an asshole.
Yeah, I hope so as well.
Yeah. So
what is he gonna do now? What's the future holding for Frank Darabont?
I don't know, actually. He hasn't really. I don't know if he's made anything since The Walking Dead. I don't think he has. But he does take a lot of time between movies. I mean.
Yeah, between The Majestic and The Mist.
Yeah, exactly.
Must have been like 8 years.
Yeah, at least. So maybe he's working on something. Who knows? I actually don't know. But talked about Matt Reeves rewriting the Batman script, and I talked about that they're restoring old film projectors in Australia. Like I told you when we watched Dunkirk, that they were going to restore a bunch of film projectors, which is great. You know, that's this kind of minor revival of old school cinema. It's that's pretty nice. And as we saw before Dunkirk, they're going to do a 7mm screening of what's it called, Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
So yeah, I talked about this before you hopped on, but yeah, that they're bringing back cinema, and I think that's great. And we talked about the remakes. We talked about Baby Driver. I think we talked about the Darabont emails. I think we actually we kind of this was a shorter show. We do have one thing left because I wanted to save that too until you came back until you came on. You got to talk about George A. Romero and Martin Landau.
Yes.
And even to make this even sadder, I don't know if you heard yesterday or the day before yesterday, John Hurd passed away.
Yeah, Kevin McAllister's dad.
Yeah, I know. That almost hit me the hardest because he was such a childhood favorite of mine. But yeah. We recently lost 3
good actors.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, good actors and directors. George A. Romero, he was 79. Well, the director of the Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and The Crazies. Legendary horror director. And then we had Martin Landau, of course. Who
he was
I'm
more
actually
of a
not
supporting actor. He was always in supporting roles.
Yeah,
he's most famous for playing Bela Lugosi and Ed Wood, obviously.
Exactly. That's the only thing I have actually think I've seen him in cinema at least. I have watched some of the older Mission Impossible shows where he played a main part. Of course, yeah, John Hurd. He was 72. Passed away from complications from surgery, I think. And yeah, he was mostly known playing Peter McAllister in Home Alone, the father of Kevin McAllister. And yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I guess this wasn't, they were old. It doesn't feel like they were snatched away from us, but it's still sad when people pass away, especially people that you look up to. I
agree.
Yeah, I just felt we should mention it. We actually did a moment of silence on the last stream when Christopher and Martin was on for Romero and Landau. But yeah, it's at least we got to enjoy their careers for a long time. So I don't know. Do you have any favorite movies with Landau except for?
Oh yeah, well, not movies as much as TV shows. He actually does a little guest spots in the 3rd season of Entourage.
He does.
Yeah, Eric, the pizza guy. He goes to the studio.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the least douchiest of all those characters.
Oh yeah, of course.
But he's still
one
a
of the
douche
main
because
characters.
everyone in Entourage is a flippin' idiot. It's a
Oh
horrible
yeah,
person. Persons that you think, they will be fun to hang out with, but you feel that you can give them maximum 120-minute limit.
yeah, exactly.
Then your brain can't process the arrogance. But so he goes to a movie studio to talk to Ari, and he meets up this guy called Paul Riot. I think it's called Riot Paul or something. And in the world of Entourage, he's a famous movie producer that did tons of movies for Warner Brothers. That includes Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So they make him as a Robert Evans kind of character. So he goes home to his house and drinks some whiskey. And then in the end, he's like, hey, this script here is about the Ramones, I see. He said, yeah, I own the rights to it. Well, Vince is from Queens. So then it begins, then starts the arc of how they're gonna start making the Ramones movie. And I really liked Martin Land in that movie because he was so eccentric. He was really this Robert Evans character with huge aviator glasses. But it's very easy to choose Ed Wood. Not only did he win an Oscar for it, but it's a very good role.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm most familiar with him. So, yeah, I had this discussion with a friend before that he almost plays Bela Lugosi better than Bela Lugosi did in real life. Yeah. So I only saw him a few times in TV and movies, but he was an interesting actor. George Romero, on the other hand, is probably one of my favorite horror directors, especially for the trilogy of the dead, the Night, Dawn, and Day of the Dead. He essentially created the modern zombie, because before Night of the Living Dead, zombies were always the product
an experiment gone wrong.
Exactly. It was a voodoo curse, and they weren't actually dead. He made them into the living dead. They were these zombies that clawed out of their graves and started eating people. Before that, they were just like hypnotized people. So and almost you could almost argue that the zombie has become like one of the classic film monsters, together with Dracula and Frankenstein and I guess the Mummy. But all of those are like really old. I mean, Dracula was written in the 1800s, as well as Frankenstein, and the modern zombie as a movie monster only came about in 1968. But it's still one of the most loved and still one of the most popular movie monsters. So he created a legacy with that movie, and that's why I really I respect him, and I was really sad when I heard that he had passed.
Yeah. Without George Romero, the modern zombie movie wouldn't look like it is today.
Yeah,
he defined a genre. He defined an era.
Exactly. He basically created the modern zombie genre. He had this very, very interesting style. If you want to learn more about, I'm going to plug another show here. Mm-hmm. If you want to learn more about George A. Romero, Red Letter Media actually did 2 episodes of their show Review, where they talk about Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead, and they make it like a general discussion about George Romero and his style and his legacy. Mm-hmm. And now, recently when he passed, they did a show of Review once again, where they talk about like his one of his few non-zombie movies, Martin. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
Like vampire movie about this teenager who thinks he's a vampire. I always, because I discovered Romero when I was like 12. I think I was 12 the first time I saw Night of the Living Dead. So I was always very interested in his zombie movies, but I always discarded the Martin because it was a vampire movie. But after watching their episode of Review where they talk about it, I'm really interested in watching that. especially now, to pay tribute. So yeah, anyone interested in learning more about Romero should really check out Red Letter Media's show review.
Red Letter Media they're very good at researching. I love their Star Wars. Their Star Wars specials.
The Mr. Plinkett reviews. Yeah, exactly.
They're very good. I like them a lot.
They are very good. Oh yeah, they're probably my favorite movie reviewers, or like my favorite movie channel on YouTube. And their show is a lot better than this one, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's our little, I guess, our little tribute talk about our fallen heroes.
Yeah.
And as a closing segment, since this episode has been a bit about, well, we had cinema legends and we're talking about old school cinema. I want to ask you like a closing discussion here, because we both watched Dunkirk in the 7mm showing, and we talked a little bit about it, but I think we didn't really finish that conversation. We both agree it's one of the better movies of this year, but is Dunkirk the favorite movie of 2017 for you?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
No, there's some better movies. I think the Swedish movie Sameblod, I liked it more.
Okay, I didn't watch that.
I actually like Get Out a lot.
Oh yeah.
I need to see Dunkirk again, because I don't know. I need to get it in again because it was so intense.
Yeah,
it's a really good movie, and I consider it to be one of Nolan's better movies.
Definitely
in the top 5.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, I would also like to watch it again, because it was almost like, it was so intense, it was kind of hard to process it while you're watching it. And I suppose that was, what he wanted the audience. He wanted the audience to feel like they were there, which made it kind of hard to process while you were watching it. So yeah, I would definitely want to watch it again. Just to be able to dissect it more and actually watch it more than just experience it. But for me, it is.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you if it's one of the better movies of this year.
Oh, definitely, it's definitely one of the better. It's not my favorite movie of the year though, and I can say this much. My favorite Nolan movie is still The Dark Knight, but yeah, Dunkirk is definitely in the top 5. But my like top 10 of the year so far is a little different, because I usually go by the Swedish release dates. So of this year, 2017, is actually La La Land and Moonlight, because they didn't come out until January here in Sweden. So most people would consider those two some of the better movies of last year. I go by the Swedish release dates. I consider those two my favorite movies so far this year. But Dunkirk is definitely up there. And but it's the 23rd of July. From what I know, I mean, I don't keep track of all movies that are going to be released, but from what I know, I don't see another movie like this year that is going to be better than Dunkirk or Moonlight or La La Land. I can't think of any like future release that is going to trump those three. Do you know any movie that you're like psyched about?
What do you think? Take a wild guess. Blade Runner, come on!
Oh, of course. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Blade Runner, but I saw a trailer today to the new Steven Spielberg movie. It doesn't come till next year.
Which one is that?
Enter Player One, based on a book by Ernst Cline.
Oh yeah, I watched that trailer yesterday. Yeah,
it looks interesting.
It looks interesting, but I'm wondering if they can really capture the feeling of that book.
Yeah, I haven't read the book.
I haven't read the entire thing. I've only read like excerpts of it, but I feel that there's a big chance that the entire movie could just become like one big fan service moment. You know, but, oh look, there's the DeLorean, there's Freddy Krueger, there's the Iron Giant. But you know, if they make that movie right, and they they honor the book, if you will, properly, that could be one of the better movies of the year. Definitely, it looks great. It does, but I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
But going back to Blade Runner, I haven't seen the new one yet, of course, obviously, but I'm not even considering it as one of the better movies this year, because I am not a fan of the original. That is, however, that is a discussion we've had actually a few years ago.
We had it in Swedish.
We had it in Swedish, yeah, on your old YouTube channel. So we're not going to discuss that now, because then this stream is going to go on for another like 3 hours. But in the future, I would love to debate you about Blade Runner again, because
of course,
I rewatched after we had that discussion. I thought maybe I could like see it in another way now and actually appreciate it. I still don't get it. I really don't get that movie. So I do not have my hopes up for the 2049 sequel. Especially since I was not a fan of Denis Villeneuve's last movie, Arrival. I don't know. That was definitely his weakest movie. So for me, the film year of 2017 kind of stops here with Dunkirk and Baby Driver. After that, I mean, I'm mildly interested in the new Thor movie, mainly because it looks like a lot of fun, and I'm a fan of the director, Taika Waititi. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be like the best movie ever. You know, it's just going to be a fun movie. Beyond that, I don't know if there was going to be any more interesting movies. At least not
there's some
bigger.
There's some good Swedish movies. You have both the Palme d'Or winner, The Square.
Yeah,
and the Björn Borg movie with Shia LaBeouf as John McEnroe.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I am kind of interested in that one. I'm a big Shia LaBeouf apologist, so I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, The Square, it's directed by Ruben Östlund, and I have a hard time watching his movies. They are, I mean, they're good, but they're like made to make you cringe. Yeah, exactly. And I can't handle those movies. I have to watch his movies in chunks. You know, 10 minutes here, then take a break. 10 minutes here, take a break. It's like a workout. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, definitely. And there are some minor releases, like this movie with Rooney Mara, I think, called A Ghost Story. That looks really interesting. I'm looking forward to that. But when it comes to like major releases, yeah, after this, I'm not sure if there's anything more interesting.
No.
So I don't know. So far though, 2017 has been a better movie year than 2016. So I'm happy so far. There have been a lot of entertaining movies this year.
Yeah, and the blockbusters have been good and thought-provoking.
Yeah, exactly. And even the more the blockbusters that have been pure entertainment, like John Wick 2 and Kong Skull Island, have still been, you know, they have been good movies. They might not have been thought-provoking, but they were very well-made action and adventure movies. So yeah, 2017 have definitely been a better year than 2016. Yeah. I don't know. Do you have anything you want to talk about? Because I think we've gone through everything.
I think we're done.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was. You know. Yeah, it got a little messy there. Don't take this the wrong way, because you were late. So I was kind of fumbling in the beginning, but it's okay. That's what happened. It's live. So,
it was nice on Martin to help out.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for that, Martin, if you're still watching. But yeah, that was the new stuff we had for this week.
Yeah.
Are we? I don't know. We still don't have a schedule, but I'm hoping you want to join me next Friday if you can, or next weekend.
And next Friday I can in the evening. Wait, aren't we gonna see Atomic Blonde?
Oh, that's right.
And Sunday we have to do the episode then very, very early, because Megadeth is playing in Gröna Lund.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, definitely, because I want to try to do this like at least I want to try to do this like a weekly thing. If you want,
yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, definitely. As long as you want to join me.
I mean, I join you.
Well, definitely. Then we're gonna continue doing this weekly. Then might be Friday, might be Sunday. I don't know. But yeah, so join us next week where we're gonna talk some more news. But until then, oh yeah, I forgot. I am actually streaming actually tomorrow already. I'm gonna talk with Martin, who was on before. We're gonna talk about shitty movies and why we enjoy watching shitty movies. Because I don't really know why. We watched a couple of terrible movies this weekend, and it was the most fun I've had all week watching movies. So
what crappy movies did you see?
Oh, we watched this 90s action movie, kind of like almost like a future noir, kind of Blade Runner-ish movie, but with a much lower budget and much worse production value. It's called Nemesis, the Final Revenge or something. It was so bad, but the action was so enjoyable. And then we watched an old blaxploitation, like forgotten classic called Black Gestapo. I don't know if you heard about it.
No.
It's actually it was like it's about this guy there. It's sort of about the Black Panthers and this offshoot. One of the Black Panthers like generals creates his own army and he becomes the Black Gestapo and starts like cleaning up in all the white neighborhoods. It was amazing. pretty crappy, but it was an amazing film. And I want to talk to Martin about why movies that are bad are actually sometimes more entertaining than good movies. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow for an hour or two.
Well, sounds great.
Yeah. But until then, to everyone listening and everyone watching in the archives, have a good one. And I'll see you next week, Daniel.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye.